Marbula 1. What can I say? I've watched every single race of every single season, from season 1 to the end of season 4, from the beginning of season 1. So let's make a tier list of best Marbula 1 teams, starting with the God tier, all the way down to nice / good, average or inconsistent. Because if you're inconsistent, good and bad results can cancel each other out. Meh, bad, don't ever touch M1 again. And then we'll add one more below. This is gonna be just this color. Not an N1. Not an M1. But we're just gonna name this the retired tier. Let's start with the Balls of Chaos. They're very inconsistent. If you watch season 1 and season 3, you know Clutter. Clutter is the marble which won the Mo Motorway and just failed at the Mo Motorway 2 seasons later. And also, Clutter also got second in season 2, and then did so bad at season 3, even though his previous results would say Clutter should get first place guaranteed. Like literally. Like, going into race 7, Clutter was the heavy favorite to win that race. Literally. 2 podiums before then, and is looking like to have a god season. And then just Clutter out of nowhere, not even making its way into like the top, like barely even scratches the top 10. Like, that's so inconsistent. Anarchy is also inconsistent back in season 1. Getting 3 bad results and then getting a 5th place out of nowhere. That's so dumb. And same thing with Tumult. Getting almost 2 podiums, one at Palette Park and one at the Raceway back in season 1. Getting a podium at season 3, season 2. Getting a podium at the Stardust Accelerated season 3, but had a rough season everywhere else, basically. Anyways, let's move on to the Bumblebees. They're meh. I'm willing to put them in inconsistent, but they're kind of not inconsistent. They average really bad and mid to bad, but they can get good results, but that's not enough to get to the average / inconsistent tier. They're just not great. They're like okay at best, I should say. Their best season was by far the early parts of season 2, and then they just threw away the second half. Like literally, that's what they did. First half of season 2 was in 3rd place in the standings. Second half throws it all away into the garbage and gets in a 13th. Like over 90% of all their points came from the first half, I think. Maybe 100%, who knows? And I know the Bumblebees were 3rd in after at least one race. I think it was like race 4 or something. Race 3 or race 4. It's probably race 3. But the Bumblebees, I'm sorry for Bumblebees who had to suffer through season 2. I'm sorry about that. I am gonna apologize, even though I'm not the person who committed the Bumblebees crime. They just kind of sucked. Chocolatiers. That's all I have to say. Okay, that's all I have to say, but there's something else I have to say. Chocolatiers, they did bad in their 2 seasons. In season 2, they got so bad that they didn't even make top 15. In season 3, I don't know. By the way, I was talking about season 4. If I said season 2, I'm sorry. But season 4, They did so bad they didn't even crack top 15. And season 3, they were still pretty bad. They only had one race win. So yeah, good to know. Crazy Cat's Eyes. They're literally the god. Red Eye has gotten 4 podiums in every single season so far. And Yellow Eye isn't slacking either. At least getting 1 podium, at least, in a season. When I said at least 1, they have 4 in total. 2 golds, 1 silver, and 1 bronze. And Yellow Eyes just isn't bad. Yes, they did blunder Midnight Bay Season 3 and made this Crazy Cat's Eyes not able to challenge for the championship. Yes, they did do that. But Yellow Eye is still a good competitor, and I would expect Cyanide to come back for Season 5 with Red Eye to see how well they can do. And also, talking about Red Eye should have been 3-time world champion in individual season standings. Literally. No one has ever gotten 12 podiums so far. Well, maybe Speedy, but we don't talk about Speedy. That's another tier that we'll talk about later. And so far, even though Crazy Cats has kind of had a slack, when I said slack, I mean a little slack, they're still the top marble team in points with 459, compared to the Savage Speeders as 451. So yeah, Crazy Cat's Eyes are the only team I think to have 7 victories. So yeah, that's why they're god tier. Gliding Glaciers. Their chance is amazing. Gliding Glaciers. Glide for glory type thing, yeah. But other than that, they're bad. When I said bad, they're really bad. Like, why does this team exist? Just to suck? Like, yeah. For Season 1, they did get a podium back at Midnight Bay Season 3. But that's Midnight Bay Season 3. No one from the top finished like that. Like, Midnight Bay Season 3 was basically a blunder for the top marbles and was basically whoever qualified the worst did the best results. I'm mainly talking about that because of Yellow Eye, but you can't argue, right? Anyways, let's move on. Gliding Glaciers, but all 3 of your marbles kind of sucked. Green Ducks. Even though coming off Season 4 with a 9th place finish, Green Ducks are still solid. 3 victories so far, even though Mallard has not gotten a single win in her career. It all came from Billy, from the Green Ducks. Billy is, like, bad in Season 4, but Billy still got a solid finish back. Like, when I said solid, I think it's still not great, but Billy, just talking about Billy. Just saying. Billy is not a bad competitor. Maybe Billy only got 1 victory and kind of did trash everywhere else, but still, don't sacrifice Billy for no reason. The Green Ducks are still a solid contender. Hazers, also a solid tier. After coming off from a slump Season 3, I'm going to talk about some controversies between every team that I cheered here. Here, I'm going to talk about some controversies between every other team in Marbula 1. So the Hazers got 2 4th place finishes, a 2nd place finish, and a 17th place finish. So let's talk about when the Hazers sacrificed the season championship to end the season weak. Hazy and Misty, I'm talking to you. You guys sacrificed what could have been the best year in the world. You guys sucked in the final race. Hazy, also speaking of you, in Season 2, when you sacrificed a silver medal for a 4th place finish. Not even on the podium. Yes, I'm looking at you, Hazy, twice in a row. You better not do that ever again. In Season 3, were already a blunder, so I don't need to talk about Season 3, but let's move on. Indigo Stars, I'm gonna make an entire new tier just for the teams that haven't competed yet. No, not that. Yeah. Here you go. Invite them to Marbula 1. Come on. You know what to do. The Indigo Stars are one of the most deserving places to join Marbula 1. Like, invite them. Like, please. For the love of God, please invite them to Marbula 1. Anyways, Jungle Jumpers. That's all I need to say. Cobalts. That's all I need to say. They blundered Season 4. They could have repeated what happened in Season 3, but did it better in Season 4. But they blundered it. Royal, who got third back in Season 3, and were looking like to get first in Season 4, blundered it. Same thing with the individual overall standings when the Cobalts were in the lead by like 1 point. But they could have still gotten a podium finish. No, they got 7th. Not even close to the podium. Or 6th, I don't remember. But they blundered top 5. That's all I'm trying to say. Cobalts, why did you blunder top 5 when you could have made your season so much better? Like, Cobalts, what are you doing? Your showdown status is coming back to you, and Royal should just be a permanent part of the team. I'm pretty sure Royal is a permanent part of the team now, but who knows? Limers. All I need to say. Mellow Yellow. That's all I need to say. Mellow Yellow is good in the Marble League Marbula 1 type events, like the Marathon and the Marble Cross. But in actual Marbula 1, don't even talk about it. Midnight Wisps. The only reason why I'm not putting him here, I'm going to explain in the controversies part at the end of the video. Minty Maniacs. That's all I need to say. Oceanics. So the Oceanics, Ocean Sea. Ocean should, if the Oceanics ever return back, the Oceanics should invite Ocean back. Ocean was the marble who actually got the pole position at its home track, and Ocean also got a bronze back at the Savage Speedway. So yeah, Oceanics should come back. Oh, Rangers. Why would we need to talk about the O-Rangers? They're S tier. They're God tier. They're so good. They're basically the Savage Speeders' biggest rival in Marbula 1. Well, second biggest rival, because the Crazy Cats are obviously bigger, but the O-Rangers are one of the rivals to both Crazy Cats and the Savage Speeders. O-Rangers literally annihilated the Speeders. And literally stopped them from becoming And also, O-Rangers, Clementon at the Casino Square cost Speedy the individual championship challenge ring to Red Eye from the Crazy Cat's Eyes. It was kind of ironic that we're at Casino Square. It was these 3 mega giants, Crazy Cat's Eyes, O-Rangers, and Savage Speeders battling each other, and then the Bumblebees. The representation of the Bumblebees, which had a terrible season that year, just came out of nowhere and stole second place from both O-Rangers as Clementon and Speeders as Speedy. That was kind of funny. Anyways, let's move on to the Pinkies. Season 3 was kind of a blunder. It wasn't really. The first half was definitely a blunder, but the second half was kind of good. But that's all I really need to explain. Pinkies suck. Raspberry Racers. Great in ML, bad in M1. Don't invite them ever again. They're literally named the Racers, should not even race well. Why? Why? Name the Raspberry. Yeah. Name the Name the racers the Raspberry Breakers. That was a dumb joke, but just don't invite them. Rojo Rollers. They're bad, but they're not like atrociously not bad. Like they're not atrocious bad. They're just bad. Savage Speeders. Savage Speeders deserve to be the Savage Speed to be in the Savage Speeders status. They're literally one of the 3 teams to fight for the best Marbula 1 team ever. It's between the Speeders, the O-Rangers, and the Cat's Eyes. We all know the O-Rangers are probably off of the this of the championship glory season type. So yeah, we all probably knew that the Rangers aren't going to be the top dogs. Reason number 1 is that the Rangers never beat the Speeders. Never beat the Speeders except for season 3 when the Speeders weren't even that challenging. And the Rangers, I'm going to show you a spreadsheet. Just ignore that I have this much stuff. Just ignore everything. Let's scroll down to here. So this is I'm gonna make an entirely different video about this. But the Rangers are okay. Technically, the Rangers passed the Speeders. Technically is the key word. Technically, the Rangers did pass the Speeders for 2nd place in the most amount of points possible ever. But that's back in the season 1 point system. Let's go to season 2. Yeah, this is more like it. Rangers is 3rd. Rangers is 3rd. Behind the Speeders and the Cat's Eyes. So yeah, that should explain enough. The Savage Speeders are better than the Rangers. Guaranteed. So, but what about the Crazy Cat's Eyes versus Speeders? Well, we're going to talk about that later. Shining Swarm. They're meh. They're not bad, but they're not good. That's all I'm going to say. Snowballs, they're average. They can be inconsistent at times, but they're very average. Solar Flares, they're retired. They're never... What just happened? Anyways, Solar Flares, they don't deserve to be here. Let them retire. They're the worst team ever. I literally named this team. Like, I'm not gonna show you it, but there was like a poll to see what to name the Solar Flares. I call it like Team Volcano or something. I don't know why. But the Solar Flares, they shouldn't be in N1 ever. Team Galactic, they're nice. They're pretty good. Team Momo, also really good. Momo was even individual champion, even though Red Eye should have been, because Red Eye deserved to win after 4 podiums in 1 season. But I'm not going to talk about that. Team Primary. Inconsistent in the first 3 seasons. I would have put them in God tier if they won the season 4, but since they didn't win season 4, I'm putting them in average / inconsistent. They're still good though. If they won season 4, I would put them in nice / good, but no, they didn't win, so I'm putting them average now. Season 4 was average. Season 3, 2, 1 in was inconsistent, mainly because of 1 marble carrying them. Thunderbolts. Before season 4 ever happened, I would put them in average / inconsistent. Now they're in this tier. Now the Turtle Sliders. Just ignore these ads. They're done. Just ignore the Rocket Mortgage type things. That's not a sponsorship. They're just ads that the tier maker is doing to make money for some reason. But anyways, Turtle Sliders, they can come back, and they should come back, but they're still bad. Blackjacks, they're meh, whatever. Purple Rockets, they're in the Indigo Stars tier. Team Plasma, they're average, and they're sometimes inconsistent, especially in the second half of season 4, but they're pretty good. Wolfpack, all I have to say about them, these guys are retired, and the Hornets, Revive the Hornets. Revive them. Even though they sucked in M1 Season 1. Revive them. Please. Revive them. Anyways. Let's start with the history. Savage Speeders. Let's talk about some controversy. Savage Speeders. A big controversy was... Okay. Was Speedy's incident in M1 Season 2, Race 1. Speedy's incident, and a lot of people thought that would be the end of Savage Speeders. When I say a lot of people, I really mean just people in general. Some people would say this is the end of the Savage Speeders, others wouldn't. At this point, I'm just talking facts at this point. But anyways, the Savage Speeders would not recover until Season 4, when they came back for victory. You might be like, oh, they recovered in Season 3, Season 2, after the incident. Well, no, they didn't. Even with Season 2, they recovered in the exact same season. They did. That's still not great for the Savage Speeders. You know why? The Savage Speeders don't care about why the Savage... That it wasn't until Season 4, until they became full glory. I don't know why there's an alignment chart, but okay. It's because Season 4 was when they won, and Season 4 was also when the new duo, Swifty and Speedy, came out. Next is the Crazy Cat's Eyes. The Crazy Cat's Eyes are the Crazy Cat's Eyes. Replacing Blue Eye was definitely a big controversy. And yes, I would be a 100% Blue Eye. Going into Season 4, I was afraid that Blue Eye would suck. But Blue Eye still got top half in the standings. Yes, it wasn't top 15 or even top 10. But at least it was top half. At least Blue Eye got that on his hand. And also Blue Eye got pole position, and it was the only pole position that the Crazy Cats has ever gotten. So, if they decide to not bring Yellow Eye back, bring back Blue Eye to see how he does in Marbula 1 Season 5. If he does trash, then kick him out. But if he does do okay at best, keep him in. Oh, Rangers. Most people talked about the Rangers as a blunderish Season 2 of Marbula 1. But in reality, it was more of a break that the Rangers had after their lifelong deficit in Marbula 2020. It was more of a giant deficit that they had. They blundered the lead back in ML 2020, and they needed to break, so they needed a break to bring it back to ML 2021. You know how that went. The Rangers sucked, but in that tournament, but yeah. But at least Season 3 put them back to where they should be, on the top of the podium. Even though the Crazy Cat's Eyes should have been, because of Yellow Eye ruining Crazy Cat's Eyes. Anyways, moving on. Green Ducks. Most people talk about Mallard being an awesome man and Billy being an idiot, but Billy's the only has one. How many times have Mallard gotten a gold finish? How many times did Billy get a gold finish? Yes, Billy has infinitely more gold finishes than Mallard, because 0 times any number would still equal 0. So Billy is technically has infinitely more wins than Mallard has. Hazers kicked out Smoggy even with a 17th place finish. But want to know how Smoggy did in Season 3? 10th. That's better than Yellow Eye. And you're saying that they shouldn't okay. Yeah, let's go. Let's see this. Okay. 17th. Sure, why not? But let's see how Smoggy did. 10th. Why? Smoggy got top 10, and they decided to replace Smoggy. This makes no sense. Anyways. Cobalts. Azor was definitely needed to be replaced. 4 DNQs? Come on. But in reality, Azor shouldn't have been. Do you know why? Because Season 3 doesn't have DNQs. If Azor just made it to the race, which is guaranteed, Azor could have gotten good results, like what they did in Race Forest and Palisade Park when they got like 4th and like 8th or something, whatever. You should have returned Azor. But obviously, Royal was way better than Azor, so I guess they didn't make the wrong decision. And Royal became 3rd in the individual championship in Season 3, and then came back with vengeance in Season 4. Oh. You were tied for the lead in Season 3 to blunder to 7th place in Season 4. If you didn't hear that, I smacked my forehead. Anyways, moving on. Team Galactic. A lot of people are talking about how Starry hasn't gotten a good teammate forever in Marbula 1, but in reality, that teammate came from Season 1 of Marbula 1. You wanna know why? It's because Pulsar is actually way better than any other, than Cosmos and Quasar. Do you wanna know why? Pulsar actually got a victory. And also decent finishes at the Aquamarine and I guess the Race Forest. And many other racetracks that I haven't heard of. Want to know what the other marbles got? Other marbles got? Quasar is alright. Yeah. Maybe you can fight for the Quasar being better than Pulsar. I would get it. But still, silver is worse than gold. So yeah. So technically, Pulsar is better than Quasar. Next up, Team Momo. Team Momo is a dumpling land and has Momo the individual champion of Season 4. So yeah. But we cannot excuse them from blundering a 2-horse battle between the Crazy Cat's Eyes and the Team Momo. And you want to know what they blundered it to? That was literally like, okay, the first 3 races combined was 58% of all their points. You want to know how much the second races combined was? Only 41. Momo was basically the most blunderish team ever. When I said blunderish, I really mean they literally had their first 3 races combined equal how many points? 50, over 50%, 58%, almost 60% of all of Team Momo's points came from that one race. From those first 3 races. The rest of their races were basically atrocious. And you want to know something funnier? Literally nearly 50% of all their points came from their first 2 races. So yeah. Yeah, Team Momo, you really blundered Season 2, haven't you? You really blundered a 2-horse battle to a 5th place showing. Thanks. Anyways, let's move on to the Chaos Balls. Okay, let's talk about the Balls of Chaos. We're gonna mostly talk about their Clutter here because Clutter is way better than any marble. And you want to, and I would say Season 4 was actually kind of a blunderish for Clutter. Even though getting 4th in the individual standings, yada yada, Clutter still blundered the second half of the season, and got basically was way worse off. You wanna know why? Clutter blundered the Mo Motorway. The expert at the Mo Motorway blundered at the Mo Motorway. Wow. That's so impressive, Clutter, from the Balls of Chaos. Just don't blunder the Mo Motorway and you're fine, okay? You're fine. Anyway, snowballs. The funniest thing is that the snowball should have been in Season 3. Why? Well, the snowballs were, first of all, way better than many teams. 8 teams, to be more exact. But somehow you invited back the Minty Maniacs, who got 18th? Why? Why? Snowballs got 12th. And got very, very good qualifyings back in Season 2. Why did you banish them into the shadow realm of not competing in Marbula 1? You're such an idiot. Not saying the JMRC is an idiot, I'm just saying you should have invited them back. Obviously, none of this is actually going to be rude to them. I'm not going to tell about them being an idiot. Obviously, they're not idiots. I'm just saying they should have made better decisions. Or could have made better decisions. Next is Team Primary. And the biggest thing here is that the biggest controversy is probably bringing Rima back. Even though Aymar was a clear option. The reason why and that caused a lot of controversy. Well, when I said controversy, I was like, why would you bring back Rima, the marble who sucked back in Season 1 and blundered pole position to 14th? And the answer is that no other option was good. Prim, Eimer, and Mary, all 3 of them blundered in the Marble League 2022 showdown. Or the main league. I'm pretty sure it was the showdown, though. But Team Primary should have. And you want to know how well Rima and Arup did combine? Way better. So that's why they brought him back. And one more thing. That was so good. That combo was so good. At this point, just replace Mary or Prim with Arup. That's so clear and obvious, bro. I would say replace Mary, because Mary has not done well ever since 2019 Funnels. And Prim at least did okay in Season 1 and Season 2 in Marbula 1. So, I would say replace Mary with Arup. Arup is basically Team Primary's all-star with Rima. I would say, even though Arup's the reserve, I'm pretty sure Arup is the best marble in Team Primary. So yeah. Anyways, next is Team Plasma. There's really not much to say, but all I'm gonna say is that the second place at Theo Raceway Season 4 was a fluke. Yeah, got 2 more 15-point finishes, aka 4th place finishes, 15-point finishes after that, but that's still a fluke. That probably made them overconfident and caused them to run out of energy early in the season, and they couldn't. And since there was no mid-season break, that kind of ruined their motivation. That's why they sucked. Next is the Bumblebees. And all I'm gonna say is that the Bumblebees should unmerge with the Hornets and make the Hornets return. And keep them with the same roster. Because, to be fair, Honey isn't even that bad in Marbula 1. Yeah, Honey kind of blundered the second half, but so has Bumble. And Bumble was invited, and Honey wasn't. Honey was, really good, actually. Back at the Raceway, Honey was one of those top contenders fighting for it. And at the Aquamarine, Honey got 4th. And those finishes caused the Bumblebees to even get into the 3rd place finish in the first place. But let's talk about the Shining Swarm. The Shining Swarm had 3 bronze place finishes. That's all I'm going to say. Moving on, Blackjacks. Blackjacks. I'm gonna talk about the Casino Square race, but we're also gonna, because there's really not much about blackjacks anyways. But let's also talk about Heart being one of the top marbles in the early stages of Marbula of a Greenstones GP. Let's also talk about that. Heart is actually like very good. Was actually like one of the top marbles back there. But obviously, we're talking about the Casino Square race. Casino Square race was one of the weirdest races ever, and all I'm gonna say about that was because we seen a lot of battles. When I said weirdest race, I really mean just the most exciting race, especially at the front and even in the back. There was still a lot of changes. But let's move on to the gliding glaciers. To be fair, Iceberg wasn't even that good in Season 3. I'm sorry. Yes, Iceberg did fight for the lead at the Midnight Bay, but that was one race. How can one race define a team? Mellow Yellow. Mellow Yellow's roster was nice. Yellow and Yellow was not a bad roster. The problem was both of them combined wouldn't give Mellow Yellow the points it needed to become world champions. And also, Mellow Yellow got 2 podiums in the Marbula 1 like marathon events. Marbula 1 like events in the Marble League, 2 podiums, and then in Marble League Marbula 1 they blundered. Midnight Wisps. Midnight Wisps are one of the best worst teams in Marbula 1. What do I mean? Well, first of all, they did get dead last in Marbula 1 Season 3. No one can doubt that. But what I'm talking about is at least the Midnight Wisps didn't have a pink Hornets season, or a Raspberry Racers Season 4 season, or the Jungle Jumpers season. At least it wasn't at just 1 point per race. It was actually more like 4 points per race, which is not great. But 4 points per race was more like in the mid, like, bad team, but at least it would have cut them up. If Midnight Wisps had a normal season with like bad teams, like with a bad team, like many bad teams with only like 1 point per race, or like Jungle Jumpers is 3/4 of a point per race, the Midnight Wisps would have gotten like top 3/4, which is not good, but at least it wasn't dead last. But obviously we've seen dead last. Everyone's complaining that the Midnight Wisp got dead last, and the Midnight Wisp got a bronze. Like, how can you call a team that's bad with a bronze have a medal? And obviously we've seen that before, but Waspy getting a gold medal but haven't done anything else, and then that's why they cost it. But the Midnight Wisps, they don't deserve the hate they actually deserve, because they didn't actually blunder Season 3. If they didn't have the bronze and Wispy at Sleet Street, just didn't get a single good race at all, it would have still been like 30 points per race, which is not excellent. 33 points per race. 33 divided by 12 isn't excellent. That's like 2 points per race. But it was still better than 1 point per race, okay? They don't deserve that much hate. If you want to complain, give the Jungle Jumpers all the hate, or the Hornets, or the Raspberry Racers. And guess what? No one is hating of them. Well, people are hating on the Jungle Jumpers and the Hornets. But no one's complaining about Raspberry Racers getting dead last with only 1 point per race on a fair point system. And they still get less hate than the Midnight Wisps. WTF. Moving on, Oceanics. Oceanics should have been in Marbula 1 Season 4. Wanna know why? Obviously, the Marble League Showdown wasn't that great for them, but hey, the Oceanics still should have been in Marble League Season 4. Do you want to know why? Because they deserved it. main reason why the Oceanics deserved to be in Marbula 1 Season 4 is because, well, no one else was going to replace their spot. And guess what they did? They put in the Raspberry Racers in. And you know how bad the Raspberry Racers in. If you want to fill in that last spot, do not put the Raspberry Racers in. Even if Season 2 wasn't a blunder, it was still bad. And same with Season 1 as well. They should have invited the Turtle Sliders back, the Oceanics back, the Rojo Rollers back, even Mellow Yellow or the Wisps back, even though Wisp got dead last. And the most controversial one, the Snowballs back. They should have brought in the Snowballs back, bro. Or the Indigo Stars. Or Purple Rockets. Or the Hornets to revive their team. I'm like, what were they thinking? And anyways, let's talk about the Oceanics specifically. The Oceanics should have been here. Want to know why? They're one of the best teams. And I'm not in Marbula 1. They're one of the best teams to handle speed. And that's how they got that medal. And at least they got a medal in Marbula 1. And guess how many teams got a medal down here? The Limers got a medal. The Chocolatiers got a gold. Minty Maniacs got silver. Raspberry Racers got 2 bronzes, even though they sucked. That was back in Season 2, by the way. Turtle Sliders got a gold. Thunderbolts had many medals. And Midnight Wisps had many medals as well. Mellow Yellow had a medal. Like, basically everyone has a medal down here. But what I'm saying is the Oceanics is at least that medal put them out of the touch in M1 again, as other teams like the Midnight Wisps had many medals or dropped down to this tier. So basically the Oceanics are basically Midnight Wisps, even though they had less medals. That's kind of impressive. Rojo Rollers this time. The Rojo Rollers, I don't know what they're doing. We got a 4th place at the Marble, or whatever it's called, the 16th event in Marble Cross. There it is. At least they got 4th place in the Marble Cross, and they weren't invited back. I guess that 16th place in the Marble League did hurt them, but bring them back. Like, Rojo Uno even got a 4th place at Greenstone, and they didn't get dead last in Marbula 1. They brought back the Limers and Raspberry Racers, who were lower than the Rojo Rollers. They still brought them back to Season 2, even though the Rojo Rollers weren't invited back. Like, who decides this? I guess the JMRC does decide this, but still, who decided the Rojo Rollers wouldn't be back? Anyways, Thunderbolts. All I have to say is WTF Bolts. Why? Yeah, that's all I have to say. Season 1. Okay, Bolt wasn't good, but wasn't bad. Season 2. Oh my god, Bolt is one of the top dogs. Season 3. You won on your own track. Season 4. WTF. What just happened? At this point, everyone knows the Bolts are not returning to Season 5. And even if they do, the other teams, just destroy them. Like, bully the Bolts until they leave Marbula 1, please. They should not deserve to be back here. The Thunderbolt, the Marble sucked. At this point, just bring back the original roster and replace like the bad marbles. Bring back Bolto to replace Bolts, and bring back Bolta to replace Shock, and basically just bring back the original team. I don't want to deal with this team anymore. They all quit, I guess, but bring them back. They're so much better than the other teams, and they could at least get, like, good finishes. They could even be like the new Marbula 1 goats or something. Who knows? Let's move on to the sliders. The sliders should have been in Marbula 1 Season 4. And we should have kicked out so many teams that were in Marbula 1 Season 3. I mean 4. First of all, I'm sorry the Hazers, but you should have not been in Marbula 1 Season 4. I'm sorry. I know Alex is going to be mad because that's his favorite team, but I'm sorry. Just don't bring back the Hazers to Marbula 1 Season 4. And they did great, so I'm not complaining, but if we haven't seen Hazers' results in Marbula 1 Season 4, they should have just bring back the sliders. So yeah, sorry Hazers, but even if you don't like that, you should just delete some teams that shouldn't have been here. Like why the frick was the Pinkies brought back? Why the frick was the Chocolatiers brought back? Like, yes. Like, if you're gonna bring back the Chocolatiers, bring back Bon Bon. And that's our next team, and we're gonna talk about Chocolatiers with the Turtle Sliders now. They should have brought back Bon Bon because of their gold medal, and maybe Bon Bon can bring back more medals. But guess what they did? They didn't. And guess what happened when they didn't bring back Bon Bon? They sucked. So they basically invited themselves, the Chocolatiers invited themselves to torture themselves, and the Turtle Sliders would have just brought back Dash and another team, like Frank. They're obviously not bringing back Crush, because Crush kind of sucked. So yeah. Anyways, moving on. Geometrical Jumpers. We don't have to explain. They sucked. They should have never come back ever, ever, ever again. Limers. Like, they sucked. They got 2 penultimate finishes in 2 seasons. Yes, true. And they did worse than the Raspberry Racers, their main rivals, in both of those seasons. Yes, true. But hey, the Limers are the Limers. If they return back, if they do kick ass in Marble League 2023, which they're guaranteed to do because they're a fruit circuit marble, and everyone's looking at them to win the Marble League 2023. If they're gonna destroy it. I'm guaranteed the Limer. Everyone knows the Limers are gonna win Marble League 2023. Everything is looking up for them. But moving on, Minty Maniacs. What do I say about them? I know. Let's talk about their Marble League Marbula 1 type event finishes. 2020, Marathon. Wins the entire race. 2021, Marble Cross. Win the entire race. Marbula 1, Season 2. Many DNQs and got 17th overall. Marbula 1, Season 3. Many dumb finishes, got like 18th overall. What did you do when you transitioned between the Marbula 1 type Marble League events to Marbula 1 itself? What did you guys do? Pinkies. How did you recover after Season 3? And how did you do worse in Season 4 than Season 3? The field was less competitive, and you had, like, way better results in the start of the season, and you still did worse than Season 3. Yes, there were less races, but your first half of the races were like 7 races when you did nothing, maybe even 8 races where you did nothing in Marbula 1 Season 3. You got like 8 points, and then you had 52 overall. This time you started off well, so you had 10 races basically Season 3, the Pinkies only had 4 races, and one race basically had 5 races. The first 8 races combined 5 points. 8 points, and in the 4 races individually at the very end, which got like many points. This time, you started off with decent performances, and you still did worse than Season 3. What are you doing? Raspberry Racers. Season 1. You're not a force, but you can return. Season 2. 2 medals, and 14th place. Not bad. You should return. Season 3. They're not in the tournament? What are you doing? You're an idiot. Why did the JMC kick them out? Season 4. Yay, they brought them back. I'm pretty sure they're gonna get some top 10 finishes, right? Frick. Yes. The Raspberry Racers' best finish was 13th. That's sad. Oh my god, Raspberry Racers, why do you suck? Everyone was excited when you were brought back to see you kick ass, and then you kicked 0 asses because you sucked. And also, why did you bring back Razzie? Razzie and Ruzzy were way better than Razzie, and you brought Razzie and Rizzy. It's like they wanted to suffer themselves. And Wolfpack, I don't even need to explain. Wolfpack is the Wolfpack. They got second to last. Let's just end this video. I don't want to. This is the worst video I have ever made. When I said worst, I really mean the dumbest video I've ever made. When I say dumbest, I really mean the ending was dumb, and that's because I was talking trash about Marvel teams. That will be it for the video. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.